Welcome to Sitting with Said the Tiger to the Rabbit. And that's the book that is pictured there. It's the book that I wrote and published recently. And from the book today, we're going to be sitting with Haiku 12 through 15 and also the painting Out of the Cauldron and Into the Moonlight as well. There are a few other videos on my channel here where we have sat with the first 11 haiku and a few other paintings from the book. So this is the opportunity to give you a chance to sit with some of the material, sit with it contemplatively or contemplatively, and have the opportunity to, if you have the book, to actually open your book up and sit with some of this material and have me chat a little bit with you about the haiku and about the paintings. And also, if you have not gotten a copy of the book yet, there is definitely the opportunity to do that as well, as the order information is in the description of the video. So I'm Sister Sharifa Bernice Meytung-Ma, and we can get started. Let's see what the tiger had to say to the rabbit. And that is actually a reference to a lunar calendar zodiac sign, both of those, the rabbit and the tiger, for a very specific year. And when you have a copy of the book, there is an explanation about that inside the book and a bit of a reference to it on the back of the book as well, where I give a little information about why all the haiku you're about to see are in both English and German, as I spent several years in Germany and have an affinity for German literature. And so I was really pleased when I was able to have the haiku translated into German. And it's what I call a heart translation. Um, it's a translation that was done actually by a family member who is of German descent. And she was able to work with me, and it was fun. It was a labor of love to exchange these haiku and get them into a space where we felt like we had the feeling and the sense of the original haiku that was in English, that we had transported that for you right now, for the reader, into German. So what we're looking at on the screen right now is the painting Out of the Cauldron Into the Moonlight. And this painting, as are all the paintings in the book, abstract expressionism, a representation of that mode of painting. And it's a poured paint, as they say, where you're actually pouring the paint out and manipulating the canvas to achieve that particular union of color and mixing color with the canvas to express what that connection is in that moment for the artist. And then after the paint sets, then the fun begins to actually look at what has arisen, if you will, from the canvas due to your manipulation, due to your combination of colors. And for me, yeah, there was definitely this expression of something almost ethereal, especially with the large blue shape here at the top, and then underneath there, that for me representing that kind of holding space like a cauldron and having something unexpected come up out of that space that you're holding, which is very true of life in general. We never know. Sometimes we hold space for very special things, and what arises out of that can be very mind expanding, if you will, experience expanding. So this particular haiku reads, All Hallows Eve, out of the cauldron, leaping into the moonlight. A Halloween dance. Aus dem Kessel, hervorspringend aus dem Mondlicht, ein Halloween-Tanz. Out of the cauldron, leaping into the moonlight, a Halloween dance. And so we can sit with that for just a moment, contemplating the colors, the blues, the orange, the green as those colors come together, and the shapes that appear. All Hallows Eve. And here we shift a little bit in spirit. We go from what was considered a combination, actually, before with All Hallows Eve, was the coming together of what was considered a pagan holiday at the time, and one that was focused on ancestral veneration and combined with the church uh, to take that wish for practitioners to honor their ancestors and combining it with the honoring of the saints for uh, for All Hallows Eve, and evolve, of course, into Halloween. Here, though, we have a haiku that's entitled Hail Mary, and in the haiku, I make reference to a painting entitled Annunciation, and this painting was done by Henry Ossawa Tanner. And so that's what you see pictured here. This is amazing painting by Henry Ossawa Tanner, African American painter. And it combined for me, and perhaps you'll hear it when I read the haiku. What had happened was Henry Ossawa Tanner's Annunciation. Was passiert ist, war Henry Ossawa Tanner's Verkündigung. And so the Annunciation is that moment when the angel Gabriel came to Mary to announce that she was about to have an experience of being impregnated with the Christ child. And so around that whole experience in terms of imagining what it was like to engage with that level of spiritual connection, however it came to be, placing that level of faith into that given situation. Thinking about it in terms of if you have a whole community that's looking at you like, what is going on? How are you pregnant? You know, you're not married, et cetera, et cetera. And it made me think of that energy of, well, what had happened was when you tried to explain something to folks that you are very clear in your own mind about what has happened, but meeting that surety with skepticism that's coming from other folks. And so it had that energy for me of what had happened was. And so here we have Hail Mary. What had happened was Henry Ossawa Tanner's Annunciation. Was passiert ist, war Henry Ossawa Tanner's Verkündigung. So we take a moment now to sit with this announcement, the Annunciation, and that energy of wanting to, needing to share something that you know, that you are sure about, and you want to share that with others. And then when you work up your courage to do that, perhaps you've been met with skepticism yourself, or you've been met with a reaction that you had not anticipated, but it did not shake your belief in what you were sharing. And then here we have library blues, histories untold. Leadbelly sings Best Stay Woke, Truth on Dusty Shelves. Verschwiegene Geschichte. Leadbelly singt Bleib am besten wachsam. Die Wahrheit auf staubigen Regalen. Histories untold. Leadbelly sings Best Stay Woke, Truth on Dusty Shelves. This haiku sprang up out of a couple different places in my consciousness. One coming from the feeling of stories that have been told and told and told again, and how we hold on to these truths and try to pass them on from generation to generation to generation. And sometimes they take the form and shape of books, of novels, of textbooks that end up on shelves that too many folks never look at or find reasons not to look at. And yet, we still have the responsibility as those who value those stories to find different ways to keep telling them. And so in this haiku, I wanted to honor Leadbelly, great blues guitarist Leadbelly and singer and storyteller, for finding ways to, in the most mundane of his lyrics, of his songs, to, this is a direct quote from him, from one of his songs, Best Stay Woke. And now we see that same grouping of words, stay woke. It's better to stay woke. Best stay woke. That same sentiment we see in modern day, our modern day experiences. And so again, we keep telling that story and telling that story and telling that story. And it can be seen in many different ways. It can be seen in very individualized, very personal ways about admonishing oneself to be aware, be aware, practice clarity, clarity of vision, clarity of purpose. Best stay woke. It's that spirit. Library blues. History's untold. Leadbelly sings Best Stay Woke, Truth on Dusty Shelves. Verschwiegene Geschichte. Leadbelly singt Bleib am besten wachsam. Die Wahrheit auf staubigen Regalen. And our final haiku for this selection from our book, Said the Tiger to the Rabbit, is entitled The Chair. Sliver of sunlight, as gentle as a friend's smile, invites me to sit. Sonnenstrahl, so sanft wie das Lächeln eines Freundes, lädt mich zum Sitzen ein. Sliver of sunlight, as gentle as a friend's smile, invites me to sit. And I invite you to sit in this moment softly with this haiku and just experiencing in your mind's eye the smile of a friend, the smile of someone that you care about, that's important to you, and how the warmth of that energy is so inviting to just sit and, as the saying goes, take a load off, to sit and relax in a space that is gentle and warm and safe. The chair, sliver of sunlight as gentle as a friend's smile, invites me to sit. Sonnenstrahl, so sanft wie das Lächeln eines Freundes, lädt mich zum Sitzen ein. And those were the selections for today from Sitting with Said the Tiger to the Rabbit. And you've been sitting with Haiku 12 through 15, along with the painting Out of the Cauldron and Into the Moonlight, as well as the painting from Henry Ossawa Tanner, Hail Mary. I'm Sister Sharifa Bernice Meytung, and I've enjoyed sitting with you. I hope you've enjoyed sitting with me and going through these passages from the book. And once again, look in the description of the video and you'll find a way to order a copy of the book if you don't already have a copy or would like to order a copy for someone else. Also, please click like, click share, and we will see each other again soon. I'll be back with another 3 or 4 haiku from the book, another painting or two as we continue to move forward. This is the year now, the year of the horse, 2026. We're just moving into the year of the horse, that sense of movement, forward motion, as we continue to do our best with all of our projects, be they in the arts, be they in the sciences, be they in spirituality, be they in whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Please go forward and do it with assurance that you are of benefit to yourself, to your loved ones, to your community, and to all beings. Thank you so much. Peace.